Yo.
Yo.
Hey, welcome back. Today we're doing a bit more of an interesting format. Usually the podcast is on Spotify. This time it's going to be on YouTube. And we are at CJ's house, which is pretty fun. And we got some paintings behind us. Definitely wanted to talk about how much we love art because we are amazing painters and willing to do whatever custom art you guys want. So yeah, just want to throw that out there. But yeah, today we're talking about parkour.
All right.
And I just wanted to start off when did we start and why?
Yeah. So for me, I started doing parkour when I was a really little kid. I feel like that was kind of the growing up when I did early YouTube age. That was all that was on was the ninjas and stuff that were going through the streets and doing flips and things. And I was like, oh, I want to do that. So me and my brother set up this series of lawn chairs and stuff, and we would just be doing jumps and stuff off of them, and then taking videos, very much like little kids doing little kids things. But
that's awesome.
That was my initial thing.
Yeah. And as for me, I think TMNT, Spider-Man, Batman, all these different heroes that were doing parkour and the animations was just very inspiring, because I was like, oh, so you can move like that potentially. Just because they're superheroes doesn't mean it's limited to nobody, right? I feel like it's inspiring, if anything.
100%.
And so I would climb trees. I did a lot of different sports: wrestling, football, soccer, baseball, gymnastics, you name it, I was probably doing it. But at a certain point I started just doing wrestling, and I was really good at wrestling, and end up won 11 state championships as a kid, which is crazy.
Ridiculous.
Yeah. And then in high school I did super good. I hate to talk about it because I feel like I'm bragging, but I'm not. Just telling you about my accomplishments. And then in high school I went 49-1, took second at state, took second twice actually. And then got a scholarship to Stanford, which is pretty cool. But within that, I wasn't really doing a lot of parkour for most of my life. If anything, climbing trees was just something I was always doing. I wasn't thinking about it as parkour. And we made the transition a little under 2 years ago, and we just started doing backflips and climbing and just jumping off of stuff. And I think that we found that this was a more conducive way to move for our lifestyles.
I feel like COVID had a lot to do with that one as well. Just the complete destruction of the world around us, it felt and just I felt like it was a zombie apocalypse or something, and so I was like, all right, let's just go through these streets and figure out what the hell is going on. And so I would be climbing things and different trains and billboards and whatnot, and just observing the empty streets. And so it was the time and place to kind of make your own fun, I would say. And so that's what kind of inspired me a lot to do so much parkour with you, and also do the art stuff so much. Definitely. As well was the COVID isolation and all that.
And we really got into the art scene recently. It hasn't been something we've been doing our whole lives either.
No, it's sports. We were both tied up in sports for a very, very long,
very much
long part
sports
of our
and
life.
academics. But once we've found our ability to express ourselves through art, it's been so nice and so meaningful. And it's just to see the interactions I'm having with different people, yo dude, check this out, and they're whoa, that's sick, I love that. And it's why'd you do that? And I also just ask them what do you think it is? And a lot of times they don't even think it's what I was trying to paint, which is awesome. And I love that.
Is that a detriment to your painting skills? It's just nah, this is trash though. I don't know what this is.
It could be perceived that way, but I think it's a compliment.
Yeah. It's like the art hits you in a different way. That's something that's really beautiful, honestly, is that community building aspect. Love doing the chalk art and stuff around my college foothill, and now other people have started putting their own different chalk art and different things, and I love just seeing it every day and kind of knowing that those little things that you do to try and make the world a more beautiful place, other people really do appreciate that, and they also want to make the world a better place.
That makes sense. That makes a lot of sense, actually. Yeah. And so what's one thing that you think sets your chalk art apart from most people's art?
My ridiculous love of it, even though it's not that great, and my propensity to just give anyone I can a piece of chalk I would say that's the difference. Is like, I don't know if I'm necessarily doing the chalk art just for the expression of the love of the art either. It's like, oh, I want people to recognize that even that you can do things to just make the world more beautiful. And I think that's a really cool thing.
Definitely. And I think that
more creative. Like it's just an everyday everyday creative activity that it's fun. It's like a little bit of freedom of the mind.
That's dope, man. But yeah, I think that within like art, I also view like parkour and like martial arts as also a form of art. And
it's in the name.
Yeah, exactly. Martial arts, right?
Parkour artist.
Yeah, parkour artist. And so like within that, it's like I like to view my life as like one big creative endeavor. And it's like I want to be able to create as much meaningful stuff as I can in different disciplines and different capacities and try to connect with people. And I think that's something that's really special about doing the chalk art is that you're able to just hand somebody a piece of chalk. And it's like, do you want to jump in and help me with this? You know what I mean? Yeah. And like we're trying to do that more with the parkour and like trying to teach people and like trying to advocate for like, you know, healthy movement, not necessarily dangerous movement, because like there is like a side of parkour that is extreme and dangerous and unnecessary, but we're more so advocating for like healthy movement, like acrobatics, like just things that most people can do and are capable of doing, like climbing a tree.
Oh yeah, I mean there's different parkour celebrities, and I'm gonna call one of them out actually, Dom Tomato. But he does just movements that are impossible for the average human being to ever be able to do. Like his bones are made out of titanium or something, I don't know. But he still has like a bunch of injuries that he sustained over his career of doing just massive jumps and drops of like 20, 30 feet. So he's gotten a lot of injuries.
Yeah.
But like one of our friends is creating this like positive journalistic piece of like parkour magazine called Once Is Never. It kind of focused on the thought once is never in parkour is like a saying in which you do a trick once, you basically never did it. That doesn't count. It doesn't count if you just did it once. Doing it twice, that means it's lucky. You got lucky on that. But if you do it 3 times, it shows that you legit know your stuff.
Yeah.
And that's kind of more the vibe of parkour. Ever since I discovered that magazine, honestly, it's been very inspiring for the different types of movements that I've been doing.
Yeah, no, most definitely. And like Dom Tomato is like a big influence for me, just because like I love his style and
he
like,
got you into it.
Yeah, and he got me into it. Also, some other parkour artists like Matt McCreary, Joe Scandrett, to name a few. But like a lot of these like artists are doing like very over the top things, and that's like why I like Matt McCreary's style is because like he will do those like big drops and stuff, but he also has like his own little flair to it. And so there's a lot more.
Would you mind explaining further? Is like own flair?
Yeah, so he's really good at like free running and tying together creative movements and combos in like really interesting ways. Whereas like someone like Dom Tomato doesn't really do that. He does more just like one big trick. Yeah.
Gotcha.
And so like as far as like trying to do like, you know, 1, 2, 3 different lines like the same and being able to do that trick over and over again consistently, that's like a really healthy mindset, because you really shouldn't be trying something that you can't just keep doing. And so like, but like, I love Dom's style, but like Once Is Never, shout out to Reese, like it's a great like magazine, and it like expresses a lot of mental health stuff, which we're also trying to like talk about, just because it's so important. It's like, why are you feeling like you need to jump off this roof? Like maybe it's a mental health thing, but maybe
a little on the nose for the metaphor there. Why you want to jump off a roof? No, straight up though.
But like for other people, like that is their healthy like way of doing life, and so it's like necessary for them to jump off that roof.
Joyful movement, I feel like is essential for health. Is just finding a way in order to enjoy this cool biomechanical machine that you got going on, and find ways to tune it up and make it better, whether that's through being able to lift really heavy stuff at the gym, or being able to swing off a tree, or being able to run really fast, or be able to dance really good. Whatever you want to do within the joyful movement, I feel like it's legit.
Yeah, and so like that's a cool thing about like parkour is that like there's not just one style. Like there's like people who do parkour that's just like A to B lines, and they're like jumping between gaps and like climbing up stuff, and there's people that do more just ascents, which is just climbing, and it's like more urban climbing. CJ's really good at urban climbing. That's like his specialty.
It's really fun.
He can get on top of anything. It's like I'm like, what? How'd you do that? And then I would say like my strength is much more in like the free running aspect and being able to like tie different combos and moves together in interesting fashions, and also just using like things that normal people would just like overlook.
You turn yourself into a bullet. And I think one of the things that sets your parkour stuff apart is your knowledge of biomechanics, and also the scientific way that you approach life in a lot of ways. Like I remember doing some research with you about like flips and stuff, and learning that you essentially turn yourself into a bullet every time you do a flip, and then once you're in the air, you can't affect your trajectory. Same thing with like if you launch a cannonball, and just the way that you approach those things, I feel like it's just it's kind of cool. You break the physics of this game of life a little bit.
I really appreciate that. I really like exploring like the different biomechanics of different movements, and like how different things are possible, and understanding how different things are possible. You can like discover like new tricks and new movements that you haven't seen before. And that's like also another like slight obsession of mine, is like trying to create new movements and trying to create new ways of passion and joy. Because like if I see somebody else like doing this like cool unique thing that I've never seen before, like I almost like can't stop myself from trying it. And like I think that that's a really interesting thing as far as just like motivation as well, is like within life in general, and like not just parkour, but like art or just school or work. It's like it's more about discipline and being able to like get yourself to consistently do something. But if you really love what you're doing, similar to like what Alan Watts says, like then you're not really working a day in your life, right? And so it's like you want to be able to like fully absorb yourself into whatever it is, and like achieve like that flow state and like that love and compassion like for your family and your neighbors, community, whatever it may be. I think that stuff, like I try to show it in my movement as much as I can, and also in my art, and I'm trying to be like as creative and like unique with my style as I can.
I love that.
Yeah,
that's actually really nice what you're saying as far as your utilization of your unique talents and stuff within parkour in order to express that joy, love, and compassion. I feel like that's something that's overlooked, is that regardless of what you actually do, a lot of your intention and what you're putting into your actions in the world, they really matter. And the movement that you're creating reminds me a lot of our movement that we're trying to do as far as the Arachnid Alliance, which
is a great segue.
Excited to talk about that one. Probably a little more in depth at a later point. We'll make like a full on video on it, but yeah, Colby, if you wouldn't mind talking a little bit about that one.
So some of our big goals in the future is like we are trying to create what's called the Arachnid Alliance, which is essentially like a spider society, if you want to go with the Spider-Verse lens, but it's more so a group of people with like similar interests and similar passions and similar joys, and that would be able to connect with each other, share ideas, and learn in a really healthy environment. And the big goal is not just for this to be in Palo Alto, but everywhere. And we want this like facility to potentially like be able to have like martial arts, have like art studios, so like if you wanted to paint and then do some flips right afterwards, you could go do that. There would be like tumbling like mats, there would also be like parkour stuff, and there would also be like a big focus on mental health, and so there would be like mental health like services provided at that. And so like these are like the plans I'm having, at least with like Arachnid Alliance. What about you?
Beautiful. Well, I wanted to talk a little bit more about that facility thing. So it'd be similar kind of to the YMCA, in which you have like a community center type of thing, along with peer counselors, peer tutors and stuff, with a Spider-Man fun lens on it. Spider-Man's been just really inspiring, given his everyday average Joe type of life, and then just that he wants to just do his best for his community, friendly neighborhood Spider-Man. And this vision is like maybe every neighborhood could have a friendly neighborhood Spider-Man and a team of spiders that's just like hanging out and helping.
Yeah. And I think like normalizing like Spider-Man as like something that everyone can be is like very important. And that's kind of like the big message is like you guys are capable, bro. Like you guys can like make some dope ass art. You guys can like create fashion trends. You guys are like super like good online as far as just advocating for whatever the fuck it is that you care about. And so it's like we can use our platforms for good and we can use it intentionally. It doesn't have to be like this just rabbit hole of just whatever the fuck that you're watching on TikTok. It can be like important intentional movement, or it could be important intentional like music that you're listening to, so you're trying to create your own music. 100%. And it's like using this as a creative tool in which we can help inspire others is like that's what the backbone of it is. And that's like kind of what we want to achieve with Arachnid Alliance is like being able to facilitate like a good environment for everybody to just learn and like be better versions of themselves.
100%. Something that I truly believe is that everyone has a superhero within them. And it might not be Spider-Man. It might be something that nobody's even created yet. But I do believe that within everybody has the potential for unbelievably cool greatness.
Definitely.
We want to provide a place for us to facilitate that and to believe in each other.
Yeah.
And to help each other with all of our different goals, because the world might be crazy right now, but we can move forward in a good way together. And I think it's a really powerful message, and I'm excited to talk about it more in a later point. But yeah.
And how can like people back at home that are watching like promote this idea and try to be a part of it right now?
Right now, I would say that just learning about anything that piques your interest, that sparks something in your heart, where you're like, this is really cool.
Yeah.
And then just being like, yeah, you know what? I think I am capable of learning how to play guitar. You've always wanted to learn how to play guitar. And you know what? I think today I will talk to that really cute person that I've wanted to talk to. Like, why not? Those types of things. And just stay tuned as far as we got the new videos and new events and things that are coming on. If you're in the Bay Area and you want to be a part of it, meet us. Like, feel free.
We're down. And one more thing I wanted to add is that like some other potential ideas that we're having is like talking to Palo Alto City Council, trying to advocate for like a public park that would be great for like people of any sport, honestly, to be able to swing on like good bars and stuff, right? And within that, like we also want to advocate for like teaching the youth, like art, parkour, martial arts, whatever that may be. There's a lot of martial artists out here that are just unemployed and have amazing skills. So like stuff of that we're thinking about, and we could even make like parkour like more of a televised event. It could be more like a dance battle or a competition, or it could be even a D1 sport inside of a university in which there's like actual leagues, and like it's not just limited to what it is currently, because it is pretty new. And so there's a lot of potential with it. It could be in the Olympics eventually. So we're trying to promote as much like health and advocacy for like a better tomorrow as we can. And I think that's kind of the big idea.
100%.
Yeah.
100%. All right, guys.
Dope.
I think that was
sick, bro.
Good
yeah,
stuff,
have
good
a good one, guys.